Good morning, welcome to VMT News. My name is Alejandra Rodriguez. For our first story of the day, Anthony Huber was armed with nothing but his skateboard when he spotted an armed person among a crowded street in Kenosha, Wisconsin. But he still ran toward the danger. Huber and his girlfriend were in Kenosha late Tuesday night in widespread protests following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Tuesday marked the third night of demonstrations in the city just before midnight. Officers responded to shots fired. Kenosha police later announced 2 people had been fatally shot and a third injured. Among the victims was 26-year-old Huber. Police have named 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse as a suspect in the shooting, and he now faces homicide charges as well as a felony charge for attempted homicide. A criminal complaint identified the other victim as Joseph D. Rosenbaum and a third person, Gage B. Grosskreutz, who was shot in the arm. According to the criminal complaint, Huber reached for the suspect's gun with his hand while holding the skateboard in the other. As Huber tried to grab the gun, the suspect pointed it at his body and fired 1 round, the complaint says. Huber was seen staggering away and then fell to the ground. He died from his gunshot wound, according to the complaint. Following up with our second story, housing prices are surging to new records with no end in sight. They're being fueled by historically low interest rates, but also investors and economists believe that the housing market has a unique ability to support runaway prices. That's the current state of America's housing market, but it could also describe the U.S. housing bubble that inflated from 2004 through early 2007, before prices crashed and wreaked havoc on the economy and the global financial system. That led to the Great Recession, the biggest body blow that the U.S. economy has suffered since the Great Depression. It produced massive prolonged unemployment and the greatest destruction of household wealth in the nation's history. Most economists and investors aren't focused on the housing market right now. Their attention is on other factors dogging the economy, such as labor shortage, decades-high inflation, supply chain disruptions, and of course, the ongoing pandemic, which has been at least partly the cause of all of those problems. The good news is that few economists believe that the current run-up in housing prices is a bubble that's about to burst, taking the economy down with it. The bad news is that practically no one was worried about the housing bubble in 2007 either.
Hi everyone, Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
A bill that would restrict transgender student athletes from playing on school sports teams that align with their genders, and he is heading to government's desk after the Texas House of the Senate amendments. The Senate floor followed us with the Health Committee meeting after a 24-hour notice for all those suspended. An amendment was added in the House but later removed in the Senate to the legislation that defined biological sex. Transgender kids, adults, and their families are not political collateral, Martinez says. They deserve every fundamental right and opportunity that all other Texans have. Students in Texas public schools are facing another year of turned by COVID-19. As a highly contagious Delta variant spreads, mask mandates are inconsistent and children under 12 cannot yet be vaccinated against the virus. A little over 2 months into the school year, the number of reported coronavirus cases among students has surpassed the total from the entire 2020 to 2021 school year. Before the school year began, the state did not fund online options. Instead, school districts either used federal relief dollars or dug deep into their budget to provide remote programming for families. A confrontation with Laredo police ended in a fatal shooting. The incident happened around 4 a.m. Saturday morning at a home near Sierra Vista and Cielo Drive. Laredo police were called out to the city for a shots fired report and started searching for a maroon SUV that was described as where the shots were coming from. An officer spotted a maroon Lincoln SUV with paper plates and conducted a traffic stop on the car. The driver of the vehicle was identified as Guillermo Gonzalez, who was a Mexican citizen and was living in Laredo. None of the officers involved in the case were injured, and an internal investigation has been launched. 33-year-old Valente Martinez Hernandez is one of 2 counts of aggravated assault of a child and 2 counts of indecency with a child through sexual contact. He was last seen driving a Nissan Xterra and to date has brown hair, brown eyes, and weighs around 210 pounds. Bond was set by Justice of the Peace Hector Liendo for a total of $750,000. If you have any information on Martinez, you can call Laredo Crime Stoppers at 727-TIPS or TIPS, or the Laredo Police at 795-2800.
During the global pandemic, you need to protect yourselves. How, you may ask? Well, here's how. With this new anti-germs hand sanitizer, you can protect yourself from most germs. Look, here comes Hugh. They just touched the doorknob so they can test out our new product. Here, try my hand sanitizer.
Wow, this is great. Where can I get this at?
I'm glad you asked. You can get this at shop.anti-germs.com.
Today's forecast, November 18th, it will be mostly sunny, but it will be 68 degrees. There will be winds going 10 miles per hour and a 20% probability of precipitation. On November 19th, the weather will increase. It will be 75 degrees and partly sunny. Winds will be going 14 miles per hour. There is also a 20% probability of precipitation and a 2% probability of thunderstorms. Following up on November 20th, it will keep getting warmer with 80 degrees. There will be an increase in cloudiness, though. Winds will be at 10 miles per hour, the probability of rain being 25%, and thunderstorms, the percentage being 4. Lastly, on November 21st, it will be 80 degrees as well. It will be cloudy. It will be a cloudy day. Wind will be going at 10 miles per hour, a 25% chance of rain, and a 5% chance of thunderstorms.
Introducing the Chair Series X. Do you have back problems? Look no further. The Chair Series X is a chair that is designed to fit all your needs and desires. The Chair Series X will adapt to your desired position with a lever that you can adjust to your position. It is very aesthetic and has a great style that is unlike any other. The Chair Series X is very resistant and will last for a very long time. The Chair Series X will only be available for a limited time period, so make sure you don't forget to buy it.
On October 27, 2021, the Los Angeles Lakers had a game at Oklahoma City against Oklahoma City Thunder. It was a great game. The Lakers had a big lead in the first half of the game. Like Alexandra said, it's a 48-minute game. Crazier things have happened. So we knew it was possible. I myself have come back from a deficit almost that big, so I knew it was possible. Just stay the course, every game, every moment for the whole season. Despite the difference in points during the first half, they never gave up. Oklahoma City Thunder was able to get the lead at the end of the third quarter and started with the fourth with a 1-point lead. All that was left was to follow up, and the Oklahoma City Thunder team did just that. Although the game was back and forth, Oklahoma City Thunder got the victory with a score of 115-123. The date of the 2022 Winter Olympics has been announced. It will take place on February 4th, 2022 at Beijing. Due to the pandemic, China will have to figure out how to suppress the spread of COVID-19. This is for the safety of the people and the competitors. According to CNN, Chinese organizers have come up with a solution to hold the games in a bubble around Beijing, which will cover all stadiums and competition venues, as well as accommodation catering and the opening closing ceremonies. China has had a top priority for a zero-COVID policy, so this is their way of implementing it for the Olympics. According to CNN, most international flights arriving in China will not land in Beijing, but in cities such as Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Shanghai. An interception from cornerback Rasul Douglas on the end zone with 12 seconds left sealed the Green Bay Packers' 24-21 win over the previously beaten Arizona Cardinals on Thursday night at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. Aaron Rodgers threw 2 touchdown passes to Randall Cobb. Aaron Jones totaled 110 yards, and the defense created 3 takeaways, including the game winner. Here's everything to know from the Packers' Week 8 win. The Packers embarked on a 14-play, 75-yard touchdown drive in response to the Cardinals' opening score in the first quarter. The defense ran 7 plays and gained only 11 yards on the first 2 drives. Not the long scoring march established a new identity of the offense, and the Packers eventually went on a 17-0 run to take control of the game. If you haven't been following up, or maybe even living under a rock, we got something special. Since 2019, we've been teased for a new Five Nights at Freddy's on the way rumors circulating then started to have revealed trailers and hints at a release date, but were hit with delays, which means more time for it to cook in the oven. Then recently have been getting mini episode teasers following up another exciting trailer, and which finally revealed the release date, December 16th, 2021. That's right, we're only 1 month away from its release. Thank you, Scott. Oh, and a little tip. If you want to avoid spoilers, go to your history and delete anything related to Five Nights at Freddy's. Get ready for November 11th as the Grand Theft Auto classics counting Vice City, San Andreas, and 3 are getting remastered with Unreal Engine. So far, it seems exciting. Besides its new models and graphics, the controls for the game are also getting revamped to the more modern controls similar to GTA 5's control. And a proper 360 camera. Are you guys getting it? Because I sure am. Around December, because that's when the physical copies come out. We got a handful of the most anticipated upcoming movies of the next 3 months, including Resident Evil, that's based on the first 2 original games of the franchise, releasing on November 24th, Ghostbusters Afterlife on November 19th, along with King Richard's Spider-Man No Way Home on December 17th. And just recently revealed its movie poster. Check it out if you haven't already. And finally, Scream or Scream 5 on January 15th.